Take over tonight with Hip Hop Mike. I am so excited about this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be honest. We've had a lot of artists in here, but this guy is a true hip hop head, somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I'm going to keep the intro going, but let me tell him your name first. Rob Markman is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up?
Artist, an interviewer, I mean, everything.
Yeah, man.
Hip hop historian.
All that. Yeah, man. And a fan at the end of the day. First and foremost, a fan of hip hop, a fan of Hot 97. Mike, I'm a fan of what you do. I know we have late night conversations where I just hit you on the check-in, man. Your show means a lot to me. Usually I listen to you when I'm on the way home from the studio. I'm here with my man Rich I Am, and we be in the studio. He produces a lot of my joints. And on the way home, we turn on Hot 97. I definitely listen to your show, man.
Nah, it means the world, bro. I really appreciate it. Like, you checking in all the time on the Twitter, the Instagram, everything. Like, it means the world, man. I got a lot of respect for you.
Nah, absolutely.
You're an artist now, too. You're making music. It's
Yeah.
hitting.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, like, the state of the culture. Just a whole bunch of stuff today.
Cool.
But to set it off, I wanted to see how things going. I saw you just dropped this song. It's a little controversial.
A little bit, is it? We a little controversy?
What do you think? How would you word it?
Yeah, produced by Rich I Am. I think we lost the culture is the name of the record. It's the full name of the record. I think we lost the culture. I would describe it as truthful. It's just truth. It's just how it felt.
100%.
Yeah.
But why the statement that we lost the culture?
It's just how I feel some days. It was really in the moment, man. I'm usually an optimist. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm an optimist. I remember being mad when I was younger when Nas said hip-hop was dead.
Thanks.
I remember being upset. It's like, what is he talking about? Like, it's still going on.
Here.
But I had just been seeing a couple of things, and I kind of just turned to the homies, and I'm like, yo, I think we lost the culture. Like, and maybe we haven't lost it, but if we don't kind of right the shit, we're going to lose it.
Well, I think we're having a hard time even trying to define it at this point. Like,
right.
Whether it's here or lost or whatever the case is, I don't even know what it is just in general. Like, what is the culture at this point?
I mean, the culture of hip-hop is always, to me, communal. Hip-hop is the strongest when we're working together. I've seen hip-hop give people jobs. I've seen hip-hop give people purpose. We created an industry. We created an industry where people could eat and live and survive and take care of their families. You know, I see things like King Combs. You know, that's Puff's son. So now our kids have something to hold on to, and that's super dope. And, you know, I just don't want to see it thrown away for just like clicks or likes or, you know, now the name of the game is just like how much attention can I get? How much can I get on? It's not as communal anymore, it feels. It feels like, look at me. Me. And I think that's where the danger is. I think that's where we lost the culture.
See, I feel like there's so many artists, and it's interesting you said it's the look at me culture in a way now, because a lot of times artists, even people that they look up to, they'll walk up to their favorite and be like, yo, I'm a big fan of yours, but check out my stuff. It's not like there's a room to like appreciate and just be selfless with it at this point. Like, I think there's a ton of entitlement with the newer artists for them to be like, y'all make hot stuff, but we got the clout and we're lit. And instead of being like you said, together on that front, a lot of people fight it. And I mean, granted, there are people that are still, in my opinion, like bridging it a little bit with the Cordays coming on.
I love YBN Corday. I think that kid is the future, man. And I told him that too. I'm a fan of him the same way. You know, I work at Genius during the day, and I'm sorry not to cut you off, but just being a fan of this, like, you know, just we just had Bun B up at the office, and I'm a fan. That's Uncle Bun. I'm a fan, and I show Bun respect when he walked through. But after I heard what YBN Corday did, you know, first, you know, he had did the Eminem freestyle and the J. Cole freestyle that really, you know, bigged up. Then Kung Fu and Scottie Pippen. I respect him the same way because I see that kid, and there's an artist in that kid, and I see respect for the culture, and I see skill, and I see dedication to his craft. So I'm going to salute that kid every time he comes through.
Yeah, I think it's, like, amazing just to see any kid, especially one his age, to be able to, like, you know, have a respect for the culture and still be able to do their own thing and not necessarily have to bash it or be critical of it to get the attention. Like, his work really speaks for itself.
Yeah, and it's not even like bashing it and critical of it because I see things of speaking of YBN, let's keep it in the family. Almighty J, I think people for a second tried to jump on him when he said he didn't know any Wu-Tang records.
Yeah.
He's 19.
You gotta
Like, of course,
understand.
like, yeah, he didn't disrespect Wu-Tang. Like, even Yachty, like, if Yachty says, like, he ain't in the Biggie or he ain't in the Pac, like, that part is cool to me. Like, I'm not so offended by that. I'm offended or, I'm hurt. More so not offended. I'm hurt by the other things, by the things of when our thing is just taken for a joke. Or like you ain't even trying to rap or you ain't even trying to be nice. Like it's just like I'm trying to troll and get as many clicks as possible. Like it's a lot of things that I seen out there that it just hurt, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: both an interviewer and an artist. You started out more so with the interviews, at least in the public light. I know you've been writing for a long time. Being an interviewer, did it ever mess up like kind of the aesthetic that you had as a kid of like what it really was to be part of the industry? Because for me, I grew up selling mixtapes and like being part of the culture now and like even being on radio. There's a lot of it that I love and people that I looked up to that I meet and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like similar to how you did with Bun. But with the other side of it, there's people that I've met where I'm like, I don't even want to hear their music anymore. It's like hurt me a little bit as a fan.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And are you selective with the interviews, or is it more so that you kind of go with what the fans are looking for?
Nah, I'm more selective now with the interviews, and because if you listen to, I think we lost the coach. I say, the media full of ish too. I'll be interviewing artists that I ain't even into. I'm talking about throughout the span of my career when I was coming up. I have this saying: you do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. So you might interview an artist because they're popular and the audience wants it, but I do that so I can get the traffic, and then I could go interview who I really want. Man, let me go get Royce the 5'9", or let me go get Bun, or let me go get YBN Corday. But when I said that line, I was speaking about during the duration of my career, not necessarily right now in my career. Right now in my career, I could be picky and choosy about what I choose to entertain and what I don't choose to entertain. But yeah, it's a business. At the end of the day, it is the music business. It ain't fun and games, and if you got to operate in the music business, you got to operate accordingly, man. But I just always try to be a fan. Even if it's an artist that I might not be into, I try. I go in, every time I press play on a record, I listen to it with the expectation of, I'm going to like this. Like, you have to disappoint me. It's up to you to disappoint me. But I'm going in like, I'm going to like this. Or, I'm trying to find something here that I like.
Well, do you apply the same things with the interviews now? So, like, say you have somebody come in, because obviously everybody's asking you about the biggest interviews. They're going to ask you about the Nicki or...
You seen that Nicki Minaj interview?
I seen it.
That was big.
We can talk about it.
That was big.
I'm going to say, it's amazing that you're interviewing these big artists, but at the same time, it's probably the smaller ones. Like, even when you came in today, I've had Smoke Perp on this show. I've had Namir on this show. Mosey. We can go on and on. You was like, what's up with Dom? I said you had Dom a Dozen on.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love most about you is that you really do care about the craft more so than any of the clout that comes with this game.
Yeah, I was just with Nicki, and I just had Dom a Dozen on my show too on For the Record on Genius. And my whole thing is there's no real separate. I'm just a fan. Like, what separates artists, right, are kind of like sales, streaming numbers, A-list or whatever. Like, that's sucker-ish.
Yeah,
like for me, it's just kind of like the music. Like, even when I was up there with Nicki, like, you got to understand, like, we were talking about AZ. Yeah. We were talking about Slick Rick. That was a rap comment. Nicki is a rapper.
Thanks.
Like, she's an MC. And so I don't separate my MCs. Like, I have a respect for it all. What you sold is it's a metric of the industry. Like, I grew up loving Nas and Illmatic, but you know who was ill too? OC. And we never talk about OC no more. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I was never the type of fan that separates, and I approach my music the same way, and I approach my interviews the same way. If you dope, you dope. Let's rock.
I respect it. Tell me a little bit about the music. Like, you have Right to Dream obviously was such a passion project for you just to begin with.
Right.
Something that I know you kept under wraps a little bit until the time of release.
Yeah.
Now that people are kind of looking at you as more of an artist, you're gaining obviously more respect as an artist. what's the approach with moving forward as far as separating like the artist Rob Markman and the interviewer?
You know, that's a good question. I'm not separating the artist from the interviewer. Like, this is just my life. It's who I am. I can't separate it. You know, interviewing in the media is such a big part of my life. I still love what I do. It's not like I'm trying to be an artist to run away from that, or you know, I'm looking for an exit strategy. Like, I love to do both, so I'm not trying to separate it. I'm trying to actually bring those worlds together. It's really why I think my interviews have resonated so much. I think I understand artists better than a lot of people because while I might not have the success of a Nicki Minaj, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go in there and just try to outdo your last rhyme or outdo your last verse, or you know, try to push your pen. And you know, even in the interview, she said it. She gave it up. She was like, "Yo, you're a journalist and an MC." She was like, "I really think you're an MC." Like, and she looks at me like that. You know, I've gotten that same type of admiration and respect from the Pusha T's and the 2 Chainses. So yeah, I'm not trying to separate it, man. And it's really been a dream come true. Like, even to be up here right now at Hot 97, we were talking earlier. I used to stand in front of 395 Hudson Street and hand out my mixtape because I used to work in the mailroom right across the street at 435 Hudson Street, and I used to stand out there and hand out my mixtapes and hand out records to Angie, giving records to Kanye, to Raekwon. Like, I used to stand out there, man, and to be up here now is a blessing.
How do you feel about, you know, now with this new internet era and all that, pushing the music, do you feel like it still is important for artists to do that? To be out here in front of radio stations, to be trying to connect with artists on a face-to-face tip?
Yeah, you know, well, handing out CDs no more, I wouldn't advise that because where do you play CDs at? Maybe a USB drive. But I think the ethos is still important of getting in people's faces. Like, you know, sometimes an internet connection isn't enough. Like, it's not enough for Hip Hop Mike to just see you hustling on Twitter. Like, are you out here really, you know, in these streets, in these clubs? Are you a part of this culture and this movement? You know, and you make a deeper connection when you make a connection in real life. So it's still important to be where you at, and not just even on some, yo, I gotta get in front of Hip Hop Mike, or I gotta get in front of, shout out to DJ Stacks, to get them my music. But man, I want to be where they at. You know, I want to be at DJ Stacks' party to see what he's playing, to see what moves him. So I know when I go into the studio, I know what I need to make. Plus, at the same time, I'm supporting him. I'm throwing him up on the gram when he's spinning, or I'm throwing Hip Hop Mike up on the gram when I'm listening and tuning to Hot 97. Again, it goes back to my thing. I say hip hop is communal, and yeah, it's not just about what you could do for me or play my records. It's like I want to support you the same way you support me.
Yeah. Moving forward, what can people expect from you?
More music, man. You know, this year I did Right to Dream as a project last year, and that was dope. And this year I just wanted to take a chance to do singles. I mean, I released about 6 or 7 singles this year. Me and Rich just did Tables Turn, featuring my man Mouse Jones and Stan Sono. We just did I Think We Lost the Culture. I got Next Check with Styles P and Chris Streets. I got Boring with Wade Matthews. I got Hit My Line with Craigie F. I just wanted to drop record after record and not think about a project. And right now we're finally, me and Rich are just locking in. We're talking about going into project mode and what the next project is. We have a title, we have a theme. You know, is people gonna take notice again? You know.
Just putting in the work.
Yeah.
Let me direct the question at you real quick, Ray. What's it been like watching him record in the studio, and have you seen him evolve as an artist from maybe the first time working with him to now?
Yeah, the first time I worked with Rob was in December.
Okay. So you had like almost a year under the belt with him.
It was the first time we worked. He said I was the first producer he actually sat in the studio with.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So I saw him being really uncomfortable. Yeah. So after that, like, we did Tables Turn the second time I saw him.
Okay.
So I met him like mid-December. Then on his birthday, he actually came back to the studio. We had a good first session. So we held on to that record for months, trying to get it mixed the right way.
All right.
So now, like, the wheel is turning now. And we just did, after we dropped Tables, we did The Culture. And that was the first time I sat in the studio with him and made sure, like, we getting it right.
A through Z.
Yeah, we made sure we got it right. So now we know the chemistry's strong because it wasn't hard to do at all.
Yeah.
So every record after this should be, like, bigger.
That's the most important part, I think, is just that organic chemistry. Like the fact that you was able to spend some time, like really evolving a relationship. That's dope as hell.
Nah, it's a fact, and we talk about records every day. You know, my whole thing is when I made Right to Dream, he's right. He was the first producer that I was locked in with. You know, people would send me beats, and I would just record to the beats, but I never had a producer produce me, or, you know, he'll send the beat. Rich would send the beat, like for I Think We Lost the Culture. Rich sent the beat, and I wrote the whole verse, and then recorded it, and he said, "Nah, I gotta go back and reproduce it." So he did the certain drops in certain areas based off of my lyrics. So I wrote my lyrics based off of his beat, and then he retooled the beat based off of the lyrics. Like we really created this record together. And I never had that relationship with a producer. Most of the times it's just me in the studio by myself because I don't like a lot of people in the studio. Like, you there to work, let's work. Other than that, like if you don't really got to, the time is too precious. So he's really the first guy that I locked in with, man.
Well, I mean, great things have been coming from the collaborative effort. We definitely look forward to many more things. If you could leave an artist out there listening, or somebody that's on the come up that wants to be maybe one day, you know, the next Rob Markman, doing what you're doing with interviews, with music, just everything, like just a cultural icon, and with all due respect, a cultural icon to what we do here in hip hop. What advice would you give that kid?
Keep dreaming and keep pushing. When I say this Right to Dream thing, you know, that was the project. It's also the label, but it's also what I live by. It's like, you have the right to dream, and nobody has the right to get in your way. Like, once you start letting negative people creep into your circle and get into your head, then the self-doubt kicks in. And once the self-doubt kicks in, it's over. Like, you got to constantly believe in yourself and be willing to put in the work. But it can happen. Like, yo, everybody told me it wasn't going to happen. Everybody told me I was wasting my time. Everybody told me I was playing myself. And now I got kids hitting me up telling me that I changed their whole mindset and that I inspired them to follow their dreams, whether it be music or to write a book or to finish school or to become a doctor. So really, just you got to believe in yourself and you got to put in that work, and it's going to be hard. And 90% of the people in your life is going to laugh at you and tell you no until you do it. Until you do it, then they're going to act like they never laughed at you or told you no.
I don't want to buy into the business.
Right. So, you know, just keep dreaming every day. Keep a positive outlook. Keep a positive mind state. And, yo, it can't happen. If you think negative thoughts, you're going to get negative. But if you think positive and push forward, you're going to be in a better place than you were yesterday.
Perfectly put. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Markman on Takeover Tonight, Hot 97. Hip Hop Mike in the building. We will come right back.